And Catherine View says, my question is regarding my Pasofino horse's inability to go at a faster gait than a walk when doing lateral movements. I can push her, but the accuracy falls apart, and it seems she's not sure of where to put her feet. It's probably true. We can leg yield faster, but not the more complex movement. Is this because of the 4-beat gait, where she hasn't the benefit of the diagonal legs being on the ground at the same time, or is this due to her lack of straightness, balance, strength? One of your lovely assistants made the observation about gaited horses having a tight back. What's your opinion? I thought that maybe due to training errors. Pasofinos traditionally started at 2 and pulled together pretty quickly. Yeah, well, my experience is that gaited horses typically seem very rigid in their rib cage, and they tend to brace the abdominal muscles and the oblique muscles. So they struggle with lateral movements, and if you try to do a shoulder in, a lot of them start pacing or tilting or something. They lose the trot, or whatever they were doing, and they break to some alternative gait, so to speak, and that is typical for all the gaited horses I've seen, whether they are Icelandics or Manga Largas or standard breds, or that are bred to pace. They all seem to have a certain rigidity in the rib cage. So, and it's really a tendency to brace the belly muscles and oblique muscles. So you may have to try to get the rib cage and the belly muscles, oblique muscles, more flexible by riding lots of serpentines and figure eights. And on serpentines, you can always ask one hind leg to sidestep a little bit, so the whole thing gets a little bit of a shoulder in feel. It can be very, very small. Also, I find that because they're not very flexible in the rib cage, some of them offer a very steep angle when you want to do a lateral movement, and the very steep angle allows them to become or to stay straight and stiff in the rib cage. So if you ride lateral movements with very, very shallow angles, I always call that homeopathic dosages of lateral movements, then you can create a better bend, and that's often actually more difficult than riding the normal 3 or 4 track lateral movement, because the horse can use a steeper angle to cheat, so to speak, right, and to avoid flexing the hind legs. And if you ask for a very, very shallow angle, then you can control the bend and the balance and the straightness a lot better. And for the horse, then it becomes more challenging because they have to work more with their hind legs and work more honestly. I mean, if Pasofinos are started at 2 and then pulled together, that doesn't help, of course. That may contribute to tightness and stiffness in the back and the rib cage, and stiffness in the hind legs, of course. Yeah, try to get the rib cage to loosen up, and exercises like volte left followed by a little shoulder 4 right, and then a volte right followed by a little shoulder 4 left, and so on. They are really good at unlocking the belly muscles of the horse and the oblique muscles.